Nestled in the beautiful Napa Valley, California, the Napa Institute is preparing to meet from July 6th through 10th with a mission to equip Catholic leaders to defend and advance the Catholic faith in the next America. Today's emerging secular society that sadly seeks to silence our faith. The creation of the Institute was inspired by an article written by Archbishop Chaput of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, about the growing dangers of secularization in America. In response, the Napa Institute was born to help Catholic leaders face the challenge posed in the next America in order to continue the work of the apostles and their successors, the bishops, heeding Christ's call for ongoing evangelization. I sat down with the executive director of the Napa Institute to find out more. John, welcome to Voice of the Vatican. We're so happy to have you today.
Thank you.
John, would you tell us about the Napa Institute, a bit about how it came to be and its mission?
Sure. The Napa Institute really originated 6 years ago when a letter that was written by Archbishop Chaput called Catholics in the Next America came out. And in that letter, he talked about how it would be prohibitive or restrictive for us to live our Catholic values as business leaders, as church leaders, just as Catholics in general in the secular culture, which was becoming more hostile towards the faith. And our founder, Tim Bush, had read that letter while on vacation, and he's already a tremendous businessman in California, and he met with his friend, Father Spitzer. And the two of them kind of hatched a plan. They said, we need to do something about this. We need to be a force to help Catholics better live in the modern culture. So originally, 6 years ago, we actually just had our 5th conference. They started the main Napa Institute conference. And the Napa Institute is named after the Napa Valley in California because that's where we hold our main conference every year. So at that conference, we hope to do 3 things. We hope to give intense spiritual formation. We want to give formation on 3 topics at that conference that we feel are going to be the biggest issues faced by Catholics in the next year. We also want to give them a mini retreat, a spiritual renewal, and uplifting. But probably the 3rd and one of the most important aspects is camaraderie. We want to bring the right Catholics into the room so that they can receive this amazing formation, grow in their faith together, but then meet each other so then in turn they can go out and change the world together. So that was the start of it, the one conference, and since then we've grown to do conferences and symposiums all over the country, internationally here in Europe, pilgrimages to different locations as well. Really, we try to be a resource for a Catholic leader, lay or ordained, to come and receive what they need to be more effective leaders in the culture.
Wow. And you spoke about the next America that Bishop Chaput wrote about. What does the next America look like?
Well, actually, the next America is the America we're in now. Just 5 years ago, we were probably already beginning to be in that America, but it's an America that's hostile to our faith. It's the one that wants to push it to the margin as much as possible, if not completely silence it. And we see that with all the religious liberty cases being waged right now. In fact, the last couple of years, we've had a panel on religious liberty issues just to update them on what's going on. We've had Alliance Defending Freedom and the Beckett Fund help us in with talks to show our attendee, these are the issues we're facing right now. This is where we're going, and this is probably what will be next. You can still be an authentic Catholic in the culture. You just have to know what the other side is doing to silence you so you can better prepare yourself.
It's so true. Why do you think that the work of the Napa Institute is important for the mission of the Church today?
Well, I think it's important because as lay people especially, we need to be out there doing the work. We can't just rely on the church. The church is where we go forth from to bring the faith to the rest of the world. We come back to the church for the renewal we need, but then we must go out and share that good news with everyone else. And our leaders, especially those in positions of power or influence, they need to be equipped to defend the Catholic teaching, not just this is what the church tells me, but they need to know why. Because everything the church believes, they believe for very good reason. So they need to know the philosophy, they need to know the theology behind these decisions, whether it be the euthanasia issue or life issues or family issues, whatever it is. They don't need to just say, I believe this because the Catholic Church believes this. They need to be there and be able to say, I believe this. And here is, even if you're not Catholic, here's some philosophy behind why this makes sense. And why this is the voice of God truly present with us.
Fantastic. John, what happens after the Napa Institute, in the sense that what have you heard back from those who've attended as far as what they've done next?
I think the best testimonials we get, and this is why I said earlier that camaraderie might be one of the most important things we do, is we have these wonderful evenings at the Napa Institute where we end with dinner and all these different social opportunities. There's these cigar nights, there's these concerts and things, but we try to encourage the camaraderie, because you hear from so many people about, I started this initiative because I met so-and-so at the Napa Institute. And we kind of take three different types of people to the Institute. We take bishops and clergy. We take leaders of apostolates that are laymen and women who are running church organizations. But then we also take the business leaders, the guys who are not only funding these causes, but they're out there actively living their faith in a business setting. We take those three together and you put them in an intimate spot where they're already on fire for their faith, and conversation lead to great action. So I feel like early in the day we give them the formation, the seed is planted. Later in the day when they're meeting over a glass of wine, that's where the fermentation, that's where the seed really grows. So I think that we've heard many different testimonials, many of them on our website, about how I met so-and-so at the Napa Institute, and look what we did over the last couple of years.
John, would you tell us a little bit more about some of the special initiatives of the Napa Institute? Tell us about the pilgrimages.
Sure. We like to take small groups of pilgrims to places like the Holy Land or the Fatima to give them the kind of formation that, beyond the formation, we want to give them the kind of spiritual uplifting they need. We take them in small groups of about 20 people to these locations so that they don't feel like they're part of a large group. They can still have that intimate meeting among their peers, but they can have the almost retreat-like atmosphere they need to take the next step as a Catholic. We want the politician or the business leader to come to Napa and leave as a better Catholic, as a Catholic that better understands their faith. And what better way to do that than to take them with an amazing guide. This year we're going to the Holy Land with Dr. Tim Gray from the Napa Institute with 20 leaders and giving them the chance to walk where Christ walked so they can come back and do that walk in their business.
Fantastic. Gosh. And I know that you also sponsor symposiums.
We do. We sponsor one-day symposiums around the country addressing specific topics as they come up. We addressed issues with the Middle East recently in New York, Catholic education issues. So we'll pick a university and do a one-day symposium on a topic. And then every year we do a 3-day conference just directed towards business and ethics. And we do that at the Catholic University of America. They're a great partner of ours. Their School of Business and Economics is right in line with what the Catholic Napa Institute is trying to do. Our board chairman and founder, Tim Bush, is on the board of the Catholic University of America. And we try to do a conference drawn this year on human ecology, but basically how can a Catholic person live their vocation to business? So that conference, very centered on business, because business is a vocation. When lived right, it's a vocation. Free market systems, we feel, are the best to take people out of poverty, but free market systems need to be checked with Catholic social teaching. It's a principled entrepreneurship, a new term that's popping up, and really what it means is all free markets work really well when based on Christian principle.
Oh, that is the truth. Well, we thank you so much for your good work, John, and we will pray that those seeds planted at the Napa Institute continue to grow.
Thank you so much.
May God bless you.